Hey guys, it's James St. Tillian about to give you the insight in the life in the day of a real estate agent and loan officer. Stay tuned. Okay, so here's the scenario. I have a buyer. Buyer sees an open house. Buyer goes to open house. Buyer asks listing agent, what would it take for me to buy this house, to get a contract with you to buy this house? Listing agent implies, if I'm the agent and if I'm the listing agent and buyer's agent, your chances increase. Buyer assumes that the agent is going to help them by that agent being the listing agent and the buyer's agent. Buyer gives me a call. I speak to buyer and I say it's a big, 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 big no-no. Having an agent that you don't know that you meet at an open house is like going to the court and you meeting an attorney the day of you going to court and allowing that attorney to be representing the plaintiff, if that's you, or the defendant, if that's you. It doesn't make any sense. So why would you do it as a buyer? Several problems. You're going to listen to the call and you're going to see several problems with this scenario. The number one problem is the listing agent is asking that several rights are stripped away from the buyer that is awarded by the Florida contract that was composed by the Florida Supreme Court. The agent suggests that there shouldn't be an appraisal contingency. The agent suggests that there should be no inspection if there is an inspection earlier in the call, but when I got to this point, he said, okay, well, we can get somebody out there in a couple of days. The agent also suggested that the buyer pay above appraisal, which is norm in this type of market. But the thing that I want to stress to you guys is it doesn't matter the market situation or the market conditions. You never, ever go to an open house and decide that your agent is going to be that listing agent that's at that open house. If you're purchasing a home, you need a buyer's agent to represent you for all of your best interests. Let's listen to the call and you'll see why you should never, ever go to an open house and allow the listing agent to become your agent. Able to pony up the cash, how much would you guys consider?
Right around asking. I mean, he'll probably go, if you're not doing any contingencies and it's just a cash offer, no contingencies, closing, I don't know, less than 30 days, 20 days, 25 days, 30 days, he'll probably go a little under.
Okay, because the deal that I'm offering is pretty much similar to cash. I close on average on 17 days.
From time appraisal.
Well, 7 days from the day of appraisal. No. 7 days from the day of appraisal. But on average, my last closing, we were waiting on a seller because it was so quick. So that's why I'm asking, because this is similar to a cash offer.
Well, if it's similar to a cash offer, you could always put cash in the contract and make it a cash offer and not make it contingent on financing, but still get financing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but, I got to protect my clients.
Right.
At the end of the day,
well, that's what I'm saying. I want to be fair to them, and I don't want to, take any money from somebody that's, trying to buy a house, We're honest people, and we want to deal honestly and fairly with everybody. It's just, I can't, the market's what it is, I'm just trying to tell you what I think is going to work to get it done, And
I appreciate the honesty, brother.
The least contingencies possible is, where any offer needs to be in today's market.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, brother. You have a great day.
Okay.
I'll get that information over to you. What was that?
Okay. I look forward to working with you. You got my email? Let me give you my email. Or is this a cell phone number?
It's not a cell phone number, but you can text me here.
Okay. I'll text you my email address, and then you can send me the general information, the pre-approval, and we'll go from there.
I appreciate it.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Take care. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Which is not an issue. At the end of the day, we're trying to make everybody happy here. But the problem that I have is the way that the buyer would be represented and what's being implied to be able to lock up the contract. Least contingencies possible. You heard it from the agent himself. Folks, the way the Florida contract is written, as you can see here, Elevate Real Estate Brokers is the brokerage that I'm with. The way this contract is written, it's written in order to protect you. We're not going to get into details about the contract, but I will go over the protections you have as a buyer for all of you first-time home buyers. One of the first protections you get is financing. So this is what he was implying. He wants me to check off this box. And if my buyer does not get financing, they lose their deposit that they made when they put in an offer. So let's go back a little bit. I'm not going to get into details, but I will go over the basics. So when you submit a contract, right here, you're going to do what's called an earnest money deposit, initial deposit held in escrow. If you default during the process, the seller will have access to this escrow. So let's say on this property that my buyer would put in, let's say $20,000 in escrow with the current market conditions. What would happen is, because we put cash and something pops up on the client's credit report that's out of his control, and all of a sudden now he can't get the loan, he loses $20,000 or whatever amount he puts in that contract. Number two, that's one of the protections you have. The same listing agent implied that maybe we should go into this without an inspection period. So that means if you go into the contract or you purchased a property and you didn't do your inspection, you don't have an opportunity to get out of the contract because you didn't do your due diligence and inspect the property. Now, the Florida contract allows you to choose how many days you want to put here. As you can see, I've already got it pre-filled with 10, 5, 7, and 3. But if you leave it blank in a normal market, usually sellers will give you up to 15 days to inspect the property, to check the roof, to check the plumbing, to check whatever it is in the property. Do your due diligence, check the history of the property. He wants to strip my buyer that right if he was to represent my buyer in the contract as a listing agent and buyer's agent. Other protections you have: appraisal contingency. It's not here on the contract. It has to be added with an addendum, but all FHA loans requires an appraisal. But this agent is saying, hey, look, no, let's go ahead and do the contract without you having an appraisal contingency. If the appraisal comes back under, your buyer's going to have to come up with the rest of the money. So let's say the property appraises for $450,000. My buyer would have to come up with an additional 40 grand. Folks, when you're purchasing a home, it's one of the biggest investments in your life. I would never suggest to take this route. I don't care how desperate you are to purchase a property. You should always have an agent on your side to protect you. It's like going to court. Are you going to go to court with one lawyer representing the plaintiff and the defendant? Absolutely not. So in this scenario, our nuggets today: if you're going to an open house, don't let the listing agent convince you to be the listing agent and the buyer's agent. Always have representation. The Florida contract is composed in a way to protect the buyer. This is our nugget for today. This is our scenario for today. And this was one of the days in the life of a realtor. If you have any questions, definitely look down in the comment section or below. You'll find our contact information, and please join our Facebook group down in the comment section. Talk to you soon.